Happy Friday, everyone. Welcome to Conspiracy Theory Day. First off, let me note I'm not a big conspiracy theorist, but that's actually why we're going to talk about JFK's assassination and kind of the place in conspiracy theory within history. So, before we get into some of the details about Kennedy's assassination and why this conspiracy theory seems to hold such sway over the public, I think the first thing to note is the outsized place that President Kennedy held in the American imagination. This is not to suggest that he was universally beloved or that everybody agreed with his tax policies or his foreign policies. Again, his attempted invasion of the Bay of Pigs was an utter failure. So let's not pretend that everybody loved everything about him, but he, for a lot of Americans, really represented a brand new future. He was our youngest elected president. He was a president who definitely understood the power of imagery. Again, the First Lady Jackie Kennedy Onassis, again, was definitely part of building that image that a lot of Americans felt really drawn to. So when he was assassinated, as any tragedy would be, it was, again, incredibly disturbing to the public, but for such a young president with young children, and you see, if you look at the image on the screen there from President Kennedy's funeral, it had a profound impact on a lot of Americans. So the first thing to understand Kennedy's place at that time. So, I forgot. It was a big enough deal that there are a lot of people who kept around newspapers from that era. So when I go into antique shops, almost always I'm going to be able to find somebody who's kept newspapers from that day, that week, the following day here where the assassin was named. This would be the following day. And I want to go to the Warren Commission report. This was noted in your textbook. This is the official decision by the United States government over what exactly happened. And in a very simple way, the decision that they came to based upon the evidence that they looked at was that this man, Lee Harvey Oswald, who was a former U.S. Marine who had attempted to defect to the Soviet Union, had lived in the Soviet Union for several years, came back to the United States, formed and worked for a pro-Castro organization as he lived in different parts of the American South, that Lee Harvey Oswald shot the president. The diagram at the top part of your screen, this is the diagram of what's called Dealey Plaza. This is where the president was assassinated. And the orange line here shows the route that the presidential motorcade took. This building right here is the Texas School Book Depository. Lee Harvey Oswald had recently taken a job there, and he was stationed in the 6-story window right here. And after the president's motorcade took this left turn, the Warren Commission found that Lee Harvey Oswald had fired 3 shots from his rifle, the first of which missed, the second of which hit both President Kennedy and Governor Connally of Texas. This is in Dallas. And the third shot, which was ultimately kind of the kill shot, if you will, that ended President Kennedy's life. They found that there was no clear and compelling evidence that Lee Harvey Oswald had worked with others. That's the official word of the U.S. government. But from very early on, there were a fairly high number of Americans who didn't fully accept the report. And we're going to get into a handful of the reasons why. But if you look at this polling from Gallup that has taken place over the last going on 60 years now, if you look at the very beginning, back in 1963, even right off the bat, a fairly low percentage accepted Warren Commission's ideas that this was one man who had carried this out. We see support in the 20 to 30% range, whereas more Americans from the outset somehow believed that others were involved. And again, it was a little bit of a dormant issue for a while, but by the time we get to 1975, when Gallup goes back and asks the question again, support has dropped to basically 10%. Strangely enough, there has been an uptick in the last decade or so of people who are starting to believe, once again, the Lee Harvey Oswald acted alone theory. So what we're going to try to explore today, I'm not going to try to solve President Kennedy's murder. It's more a matter of trying to understand why are there so many Americans who don't accept the Warren Commission's report. This is a again, a long-lasting conspiracy theory that, again, there's still a cottage industry out there. Again, I have in my room a couple of my favorite conspiracy books, neither of which I fully accept. Certainly interesting reading, but if you go to any bookshop and look in the history section, you're going to find a number of JFK conspiracy theory books. So the real question for today is, well, why are there so many people who don't accept it? First, I want to put JFK's killing in context. This is another poll done by the Pew Trust organization. They've been around for 70, 80 years, and they do polling similar to Gallup. And this question is not about JFK's assassination, but it's a general question they've been asking for years and years and years. The question is, do you trust the government in Washington, D.C. to do the right thing most or all of the time? In other words, do you have confidence and trust in the U.S. government? And if you take a look at the polling here, as of in the early 60s, when Eisenhower was president and through Kennedy's presidency, support was in the mid-70s to 80% range. That doesn't mean that everybody agreed with what they did or loved what they did, but they had a general trust. They believed they were making the best judgments on behalf of the country. But if you take a look at what happens in the following decade or so after President Kennedy's death, we see general range of support go from in that high 70s into 80%, and by the time we get to 1980, support's down in the 20%. You can look at the rest of that if you want, but I want the emphasis to be on this era. There was a massive decline in confidence, in trust and faith in the federal government. So after JFK's assassination, and we'll get to this, this is the time period of the Vietnam War, when increasingly a lot of Americans come to distrust what their government is telling them. This is the time period of Watergate, which resulted in the first and thus far only resignation of a president. So I think part of the lack of belief in the government's position in 1963 in the Warren Commission was what came after it. I think that's a big part of why these conspiracy theories have stuck around. Now, that doesn't mean that Americans have any general agreement on what they think actually happened either. From the same Gallup poll that showed that Americans generally don't believe the Warren Commission report, respondents were also asked, well, if it wasn't Lee Harvey Oswald, what exactly do you think happened? And I'm going to enlarge this a little bit for us so we can see a little better. So if you look at the list on the right, you see about 15 different ideas about what exactly people think happened. The largest groups, largest percent of respondents think that somehow the mafia or organized crime had something to do with it. But even that's 13% of people who don't believe that there was a conspiracy. Below that, we see some combination of the United States government itself or the CIA. We see 5% think that Fidel Castro had something to do with it in retribution for attempts on his life and the Bay of Pigs invasion. We have others who put it towards the KKK, some who blame the vice president, some who blame the Soviet Union. So I think one thing to take away from this, again, and I'm not pretending that I have any inside knowledge of anything, I had nothing to do with it, but a lot of the groups that people blame for or believe had something to do with the president's assassination were groups who they already distrusted, groups who they already feared. If people already didn't trust the CIA because of what had been taking place regarding assassinations and overthrow attempts in the 50s, 60s, into the 70s, well, a lot of those people were more likely to believe that the CIA had something to do with President Kennedy's assassination. And those who were more fearful of international communism, well, they were more likely to believe that the Soviet Union, that the Soviet Union or Cuba had something to do with it. This is a newspaper from 2 days after the assassination, and it's talking about kind of funeral planning and what's going on. But already, right here, there's this discussion of, well, what happened? And here we have an article talking about how the Soviets, they say, no, it wasn't us, it was right-wing elements within the U.S. government. So really from a very early moment after the assassination, there was a bit of different groups of people blaming other groups, and this happened across the political spectrum. So I'm going to stop this here, and so there's going to be a second part of the lecture where we're going to get into the details of Kennedy's assassination that have caused people to find enough crumbs to keep the conspiracy theory alive.